Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Dynamite Shirt Printing, Kyle Metz. What a guy. He came on as a sponsor, and my primary use for him is drop shipping. So what that means is that I don't got to buy inventory. I don't got to buy a bunch of t-shirts. Kyle handles it all. So it's ordered online, and then he prints it and ships it, and he handles everything. And it works out for both parties. If you're looking for something else like general screen printing, he handles that. He does embroidery. He does direct to garment, DTG, which means you can do one-offs, and there's no minimum on that. Kyle's been able to help a lot of businesses that I've been funneling to him just to get going and to, start up. I mean, you don't want to order 100 t-shirts when you're just coming out the gate. And Kyle can handle small orders, large orders. He can handle everything you need. That's Dynamite Shirt Printing, and it's dynamiteshirtprinting.com. Go check it out. My favorite skate shop in the Valley, 5anddimeeaston.com. You can shop online or in store. Their address is 140 Northampton Street, Easton, PA. Their hours are Monday through Friday, 11 to 7, Saturday, 10 to 7, and Sundays, 11 to 5. They carry clothing, shoes, boards, accessories, and more. You can get complete decks down there. They got grip. They got some local clothing down there as well. I know a couple guys that came on the show that they're now selling stuff in store, and they're exclusive to Fucked. They are doing so much for the independent skate community. They're doing so much for the DIY. They're doing a lot in the area with skateboarding, and I couldn't be prouder to have them as a sponsor. Their story is incredible, from starting it when they were 18 and then coming back later in life to opening up what the store is that they wanted. And the two guys down there are just incredible. I can't say enough good things about them. I love that they're a sponsor, and they really help out in the community. And if you skate or want to support them, please go check them out locally. It is 140 Northampton Street, Easton, PA. Online, it is 5anddimeeaston.com. Please go check them out. All Valley Rooter, Jared LaBarba, friend of the show, childhood friend, Never Again Studios official plumber. 24-hour emergency services. 610-762-1656. That's 610-762-1656. They charge by the job, not by the hour, and they are 100% fully insured. They have free estimates. They also do installation and repair. They have a list of things. I can't go over them all on here, but you can find them at allvalleyrouter.net. All of Jared's services are on there. It's a beautiful website. You can contact him through that website. You can find out how to do, emergency services. Where should I call? Who should I contact? You can get all that there at allvalleyrouter.net. Free estimates, fully insured. Jared LaBarba. Check him out.
I'm Mark. They call me Rip. Rips Auto Detail. You can find me on Instagram, Rips Auto Detail, RIPS Auto Detail. You can hit me, Mark, at ripsautodetail.com for my email. So if you want to call me, 484-553-1366. Social medias, really, you'll see most of what I'm doing. But for the business, yeah, give me a follow on Rips Auto Detail. Watch what I'm doing. If you're interested in paint corrections, ceramic coatings, anything in the Lehigh Valley as far as highline aesthetics for your vehicle. We're not talking cheap stuff here, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. It just is what it is. I've been working at this for a long time, and if you want someone to take a prideful approach to the aesthetic care of your vehicle and really turn you out a product that you haven't experienced with someone else before, give me a shot, man. It's a one-car, one-man approach, and everybody gets the same level of devotion. Obviously some jobs cost more and some less, and you've got to draw a fine line there. It's easy to really obsess over things and go too far sometimes and over-deliver. It's never really a bad thing, though. So give me a shot.
Your audio's going to be fine because you're pretty sure it's not too loud. Never Again Radio, episode Who Knows What. Welcome to Never Again Radio, man. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. We crossed paths. I don't even remember. I don't know if it was Precision Laser or somebody, and I just started following you, and the work's awesome. And then we got on the phone, and I was like, yeah, come on the podcast. I love just talking to different people. I love hearing how businesses started. Where did you kind of start with running your own business, and was it always the work you're doing now, or like where did all of it kind of come from that you wanted to work on your own?
I think I just I wasn't really ever good in jobs when people were
like working with people.
Just not necessarily working with people, but I always kind of gravitated towards like jobs where I was either working outside or
left to be. Hey, go do that.
Yeah, like this is your task for the day. We're not going to bother you.
Yes.
Just go do it.
That's the only way I got work done.
Yeah, me too. So I was always kind of in that space, and then I was in the Navy for 4.5 years.
Did you like that?
Not really. I couldn't stand it, honestly. I didn't really like my job. I loved the guys I was in the Navy with.
Yeah.
And I had.
It's like working in a kitchen.
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of fun, you know.
Yeah.
But the actual job and stuff, I worked on the flight deck, and just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? But so then, yeah, I just kind of. But again, that was a job outside, working with my hands, that kind of stuff. So I always just wanted to really just do my own thing. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, that's kind of just how I always lean towards.
Could you pull the mic just... I don't want your face to be covered the whole time.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah, good. And you're loud enough. Cool. So the work that you're now finishing and the style of work you're doing, is that something that you did before, or how did you even fall into doing that kind of work to even start the business?
So after I got out of the Navy, I started doing interior painting, homes, even some exterior painting and stuff, again, in line with the working on my own outside kind of thing. And when I got out of the Navy, I moved back to Jersey from Virginia and just was looking for a job, basically.
Did you like Virginia?
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time there as a kid. So Virginia Beach, Norfolk area. Yeah. My dad was in the Navy also, so I was getting in and out of there my whole life. So it was kind of like second nature for me to be there in the military. But so I got out of the Navy, there was like no jobs. It was like 2008-ish. And I just started doing painting, interior painting.
Do you like painting?
I actually do. I gotta admit.
Well,
I gotta admit, I really do.
I guess I should say it is, once you knew how to paint correctly, did you enjoy painting?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed being on the job sites, and every day was different. And you know, I was working with a bunch of older guys than me, like just funny dudes, you know. And yeah, I enjoyed that. It was similar to the Navy, working with dudes that were just funny and just having a good time.
Just a good crew of dudes.
Yeah.
It's the only thing you look forward to coming into work.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And you're just kind of free to just go about your business, you know? So painting, I mean, I just finished painting my attic. I painted my entire house, you know? Like,
yeah.
I would never hire somebody to paint my house. But, yeah, so then I fell into that. I was doing that, and then I moved back to Jersey, and I fell into this company that was hiring spray painters. But I didn't know it was spray painting bathtubs. So... he gave me like a year.
Yeah, that's an odd. I didn't even know that was a thing that existed.
I had no idea. You
know?
So he gave me like a year of that, and then then I moved to Brooklyn. It's just like a in and out thing again. Like I moved to Brooklyn after I did that for like a year. Moved back to Jersey after that, after living in Brooklyn, and then.
Did you like Brooklyn?
I love Brooklyn at the time.
Yeah.
Now. The area I was living in now, I wouldn't be a fan of, but I was in Williamsburg, like on Havemeyer Street there, when it was really bubbling, all the hipsterism.
Yeah. So, awesome food.
Yeah. It was when it was still really cool, you know.
Yeah.
It was still on the come up. But moved back to Jersey, started working for the same guy again. Truck broke down. He wasn't gonna fix it. He let me go. Then I worked for another guy for 7 years. And then during the pandemic, things got weird with them. And then I was just like, I'm just going to do this by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, because like over the years, through the transitions that you're talking about, when you work for different people and you start doing skill sets like that, like one, they're like incredible life skills down the road. Like how you're like, I'm not hiring someone to paint my house. I hate painting, but I know how to paint because I worked for my buddy's had a cleaning company, a Colonial Cleaning. So I did it at probably like 14, 15. You know, like once he would need us for like the terrible jobs. Hey, tell your little brother to come in. So like I'd come in with my brother, but like I learned so much from that. One, how to professionally clean is just like such a skill set to have where you can blow through cleaning. Yeah. I can blow through cleaning this place if I like focus on it in like no time. Right. Then he started cleaning out apartments, but then they were like, hey, can you guys like paint this and then get them ready to be done? And then it's like, then we started learning how to paint. Then I started like at one point I was like spackling and like, you know, like, but then it's like, I wasn't, he'd be like, do it.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I'd be like, okay. And then it's like, the first couple would suck, but then I'd be like, do I know how to spackle?
Yeah,
and then like,
exactly.
but all those things I still use to this day that help
Exactly.
me in even doing this aspect of doing it. So like, it's cool to hear that, like, you know, you were going back and forth, and then at one point you're like, I just want to do this on my own and then take all the headaches out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it scary to kind of start focusing on that, or was it
Honestly,
really your only option?
It wasn't my only option, definitely not. But the way that the structure, the way it was set up with the company I was working with, I was with them for 7 years, and everything was it was on me anyway. So like, the guy was based in Canada. So he just emailed me all the jobs that he would book. So he just handled all the online marketing and you know, would email me however many jobs a week, whatever. So I was the one dealing with the customers. Like, they sent me the names and the numbers. I had to call the customers, confirm with the customers, you know, do everything. And then also I had to order my own product. I mean, everything was on me basically, but I was still doing a 60-40 split with these people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's weird when you start like managing or like doing shit like that, and then at one point you're like,
why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this for somebody else?
Exactly.
And then it's like, then it starts being this constant thing where it's like, well, why am I continually just doing this and not making less money when I could just be doing it on my own?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not the easiest thing to do it on your own, but at that point, if you're running the jobs, you just now have to get jobs.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great 7-year training period. You know what I'm saying? Because it literally gave me so much confidence that I knew at seven years with them and 2 years with the other guy. I'm like 9 years into this. I know the job. I know the.
And at that point, there has to be almost everything that could possibly come up to go wrong has happened. It's 9 years.
Oh yeah.
So like, you know, you're learning off of mistakes, and
100%.
when you, like, those are the things you worry about. Is not if when shit goes right. It's like,
definitely
shit, what happened here? So like, it's so much easier to get into a situation where it's like, oh, well, like, I already ran a kitchen, so I know what happens if this and this goes out, or if this guy doesn't show up, I already know what to do, and like, I have this, and then like, you're almost like, you know, going into a situation where you have a skill set to kind of like handle it.
100%.
And that really takes the stress, and especially when those situations come up, a lot of the nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, even the mistakes with the previous company, you know, it was all on me still. So like, you know, refinishing
He's in Canada.
refinishing a bathtub or refinishing tile, spraying it, you know, it's similar to painting a car for people who have no idea what it is. So it's a handcraft, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be good at doing it, but obviously you're a human and there's mistakes that happen all the time. So, you know, exactly what you said. Like, I'm not surprised by anything at this point.
How does that whole process work? Like, if you break it down for even myself, or like the steps through when you have to respray, or like when you're finishing that off like that, like, what do you actually have to do the entire thing?
You know, whether it's tub or tile, the surface has to be etched. You etch the surface down. I use like a soap and acid etch, scour pad, let it sit on there for like 10-15 minutes, rinse it off, clean it off, and then prime the surface, and then spray it, basically. I have a compressor, hose, gun, spray, you know, like a standard gun that you would see, you know, a spray paint gun. And just spray it like a car, basically, you know.
That's crazy.
Seen the videos and where they're in the spray rooms and stuff like that. So we use a ventilation system in the window and try to contain the smell as much as possible, and knock it out. So, you know, I'm making it sound way easier.
No. Well, I mean, everybody who comes on, they always like brush over everything, and I'm like, that's definitely not.
I mean,
that
I see the worst and the best of everything. You know what I mean? I've seen it all. I've seen bathtubs that have been lit on fire. I've seen. I had a full-grown husky jump in a tub that I literally just finished spraying one time. The dog is running all over the house. There's paw prints all over the house. The dog's covered in paint. It was an absolute mess.
Who's even responsible in that situation? The homeowner?
The homeowner, man. She it was like I said, a large dog. She could not control the animal the entire time.
No, those are fun.
So I'm there.
He doesn't bite. He's just like
She's like,
knocking you into a wall.
He won't come up there. And it was in a Philly apartment also, so it was super small. And this dog was going ballistic that I was in the house, you know. Comes in a couple times while I was working.
Like, hey, bud.
And then as I'm finishing, I'm wrapping up, I'm taking all my stuff out. The dog just weasels in the door, jumps directly into the tub, man. Runs around, jumps on this lady's bed. It was an absolute disaster, man.
How do you fix that situation?
So I said to her, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to come back and redo this then. You know what I mean?
And now is that a complete redo?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
It has to sit for it has to sit for 24 hours, you know, before you can use it again. So 10 minutes after is definitely not the move for the dog to be in the tub.
Damn.
So, yeah.
So then when because it's just fascinating to me because I didn't even know that this like job existed almost where people, so like if somebody wants to get their, like they want to keep the tub and the tile and everything the same, but they want to give it a new look because they're redoing the bathroom.
Right.
So then like she wanted to change the bathroom around, spent all that time on you being there, and then the dog came in, jumped in the tub, and now the entire process that has to be completely started over.
Yeah.
And then like that puts you in a weird position because if like, do you charge her everything twice?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Was she like what if they started coming back at that? Do you? I mean, like,
no, I mean,
it's so weird.
Yeah, I mean,
what a terrible situation to be in.
Luckily that wasn't on me. That was when I was working. I was working for somebody else.
You're like, call this guy in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was kind of heated. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I just told her, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to reschedule this and come back and just charge you exactly what you paid, you know what I mean? So, you know, some people, she got it. She was cool about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But, yeah, like I said, I've seen and done it all with it as far as that kind of stuff. But, yeah, man, that's pretty much how I got into the game.
So then, now when you, where did you start with like the name and like kind of building the business out? Was this something that you were kind of already thinking? Did you have the supplies ready? Like, did you have a van already? Like, what was kind of the step towards like, you know, because I mean, did you slowly jump into it, or were you just like, hey, I'm just gonna buy all this shit?
No, I mean, I already had all the equipment, obviously, from working for previous companies and stuff. But as far as the marketing and stuff, I had made the logo like probably 2 years before I even started the business. But as work started slowing down with my other company, I just kind of started putting it more and more out there, running little ads here and there on Instagram.
Have you ever done anything with marketing through like I know you kind of skimmed over to here, but I mean, were you doing other stuff where like you were putting yourself out there, or there was a way to market it? What were you doing with that?
Not necessarily with my business specifically.
Yeah.
I was very like involved in music for a long time outside of
When
work.
did you start getting into that?
15, 14 years old.
Yeah. Making music or playing music or producing or
kind of pretty much all those things. You know what I'm saying? I lived in England for a good amount of time as a kid.
What?
Yeah.
You're just gonna leave that out?
Yeah. So I got into like
now I know why you have that shirt on.
Yeah. I got into like the underground music scene over there and
Fuck
stuff.
Yeah,
drum and bass and
yeah.
UK
I just started getting into that.
Yeah,
I started watching the series Top Boy.
Oh really?
Yeah. Everyone's killing me because I just keep saying fam and bruv.
Yeah. I'm from that that scene, that music.
I love that music scene. I love like that culture. I was just talking to somebody about this today. I love the fashion and like the street hooligan aspect of it, like
Adidas tracksuits.
Yeah. So were you involved in like that
all
scene?
All
let's
that.
go.
Yeah. So then when I came,
how old were you when you were over there?
14, 15.
Yeah. What a fun time to be involved in that stuff.
Great time to be there, man.
Yeah.
They say 1998 to 2002 is like the golden era of drum and bass too. So
were you going to soccer games and stuff?
Not so much soccer games.
Music?
I was really into music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I was always into soccer my whole life, but
I just started telling someone I want to figure out. I watched it a little bit when I worked at the deli with my buddy Alessandro because he's from Sicily, so he would have it on, and I'm like, I don't understand this.
Yeah.
But once I started paying attention, it was super intense, and I loved watching it. But I said to my buddy, I'm like, can we just like start dressing up like hooligans and going to soccer games locally? I'm like, I know there's bars somewhere someone's got to be playing. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'll do it without.
They're actually I mean, there might be somewhere around here, but I always felt like they're missing that somewhere around here.
Every once in a blue moon, when I was in Virginia, a couple places. The one place, what was the name of it? The guy played soccer and he was from England, and I think he might have been known because he would put on like VHS tapes of his old games and stuff. But the whole restaurant was based around like a pub and was like 100% legit. And then he had soccer games on, and it was like the college kids that would actually pay attention to it would come down, and he would watch soccer with everybody. I think every once in a blue moon I'll see a sports place try and do that, but I don't think anyone ever grabs the vibe.
The part of the problem is the game starts at such weird times.
Yeah.
So like, you know,
and I don't know the leagues. I always try, and then I'm like, what's going on?
I'm big on the Premier League, which is the English league, but you know, sometimes the game starts at 7:30 in the morning. It's kind of hard to be at the bar.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Now that you're saying that, I remember my buddy, I think Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal.
That's my team,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah. So like we got up early, and then he was like, "Come with me," and I was like, "I didn't care." And then like it was cool though.
Yeah,
but like the bar opened for soccer. But like that's what I hold on to that though. And then when I was watching Top Boy, I told my buddy, I'm like, "Dude, let's get into soccer." He's like, "Shut up." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, Top Boy's dope, man. There's a guy. There's actually a drum and bass MC in that show.
Well, I didn't realize that was an original, the Summer House. I'm so glad that we're actually talking about this because I have no one to talk to about it. The original Summer House show was like 8 episodes broken into 2 seasons, and then Drake saw it, and then that's why Netflix is rebranding it as Drake, Top Boy. Yeah, but he like brought all the old actors back. But like I told everybody, I'm like, yo, that's as good as The Wire. It's like mirroring The Wire. It's really good.
Actually, one of the main guys in that, Ashley Walters, I think his name is. He was a big UK garage MC back in the day.
Yeah, they said that there's like a couple of musicians. I didn't know which guy it was, but they said that there was a couple on there.
There's a guy missing an eye.
Yeah. It was a dude who got the acid thrown on his face in jail.
Yeah, his name is Trigger. He's a big drum and bass MC.
I'm going to get into this because I like the music. And then what's funny is I was playing GTA and they have
some drum and bass
Yes,
on there.
they have that smile. I'm so glad that you're following this. But because then I was like saying to my buddy, and then my buddy's like, dude, I used to really be in the drum and bass, but I think I'll probably get into that this summer. I like finding little lanes like that. And I love the fashion.
But so to transition out of that, that was pretty much my upbringing, and I was doing.
So you were over there because your dad was in the Navy,
right? Yeah,
awesome.
He worked at the embassy in London, but so when I moved back to the States, I was still seeking out drum and bass and events and people, and I was performing, doing drum and bass myself. So, and promoting shows and all that stuff. So as far as like twisting it back into my business, fast forward, all the marketing and promo and all the stuff that I was doing in music, I just kind of shifted over to my business. You know what I'm saying? So I knew everything about running ads and making flyers and
so cool,
doing all that stuff. Selling tickets and all that.
Anytime people like try and do something like that, or like my buddy DJ'd for a long time, and he was fantastic at it. And we went to Scratch Academy down in
Florida.
No, they had it in New York City.
Okay.
Jam Master Jay. I guess they had 3 of them, but at the time they were doing it in I think it was the Village. I'm not sure. It was years ago, but I went down and did like 2 courses. Dude, it was crazy. It was like a science lab, and they had a horseshoe. But like the stuff I took from that was just having the confidence to play in front of people, and like even back then where like we had like a little crew, and then it's like I always kind of like took that mentality and just it was always like building it bigger. So it's like you're taking the premise of selling yourself as an artist and getting people to fill a room, except for now you're selling a service and you're just getting people to buy it.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why even like with the logo and stuff like that, I always had it in my mind. Like, shout out to Two Rivers Brewery. People ask me if I'm Two Rivers Brewery all the time. No hard feelings, I hope. It wasn't. I wasn't trying to bite. But everything in the area seemed to be Twin Rivers, Two Rivers. You know,
there's a couple other Two Rivers. I think it's in the Easton thing.
It made sense. The 2 rivers are right there, the Lehigh and the Delaware. And I'm like, I'm from New Jersey. You know what I mean? And I just moved to Easton. I've only been here for going on 5 years now.
You like Easton?
I really do. You know what I mean? I think it's popping. You know what I mean? It's like bubbling. There's a lot of stuff going on downtown.
They do cool stuff with like, I've recently had like 2 or 3 people on in a row from Easton, and we kind of go over the same thing where it's like I feel like they did it correctly. Like I love like the Easton Out Loud where they shut the street down, even during the pandemic where they had all the like it was like outside eating. Like there was and then with the market, and then there's a lot of cool stuff going on. I do a lot of stuff with sailors and get my food from them for pop-ups, but like Easton's dope. I know people that like visited from California and almost moved back here because of Easton.
I mean, I love the vibe. I love the, you know, it reminded me somewhat a little bit of like hipster days Brooklyn, you know what I mean? I love the like small business community also vibe. So when I was like building mine, I was kind of like, well, I want it to be akin to the area. You know what I'm saying? I want it to feel local because people like to spend local. You know what I mean? Hopefully, but yeah, I just wanted like I was getting into it. You know, I was getting into the whole vibe of Easton. I was feeling it. I was like, yeah, this will work. This looks good. The logo looks good. Let's push it as a.
So when you moved to Easton, that's when you started kind of opening the business up.
Yeah, I would say, like I said, I had like an Instagram account for my old company, right?
Yeah.
And I was running my own thing that way, and then I started another account with my own thing. As I'm working for them, I'm also doing my own stuff on the side, booking jobs.
It's the best way to. It's the safest way to do it without.
So the transition was seamless. It was absolutely seamless. Like we had a falling out over.
You're like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Bye.
over the pandemic and the money, and like they weren't booking me enough jobs, and then they were like, we got to let you go, and I was like, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was already like 6 months, 8 months rolling at that time.
Yeah.
On my own, doing more work for myself than I was ever doing for them.
Yeah.
And same stands now. Like I'm doing more work now than I've ever done in my life. You know what I mean?
When did it start really picking up? Was it just kind of local business and people in the area looking for your service? And then like, were you just kind of taking on jobs? Did the Instagram pick up a little bit? Like, where did you kind of start seeing that like you got your footing?
Instagram really took off first.
Yeah.
It really took off like crazy. You know what I mean? I couldn't believe how many people were hitting me up. But then that kind of dropped off. I don't know if Instagram got wind.
They start hammering that algorithm.
They got wind of my making money off of them, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? So then I was like, well, maybe I'll just throw more money at it. So I kept throwing more money at it, but it still was kind of... So they're messing,
That's the game.
They're messing with my
That's the
algorithm,
game.
you know?
Yeah.
So then I went to Facebook and started dropping more ads there. And I think there's maybe older people, maybe my age, you know, and older, who are homeowners or getting married, or, you know, people, just older people in general, you know.
Yeah.
Instagram was more of a young person's kind of thing, and probably not even now anymore. It's like TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't do the
No,
TikTok.
I couldn't. My friend tried 7-8 times. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
I can't do it.
If you like, I love Instagram, and if you put your heart and soul into Instagram, you could do a lot of cool things with Instagram.
Definitely.
And I've sold 100 burgers out of here off of Instagram. And when I started doing that, I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So like, to me, it's like, that's where I see the return. I'm not going to start dancing. I'm not even going to start putting my same content on TikTok.
Exactly,
it's a full-time job when you run it correctly.
Exactly.
I have it bleed over to Facebook, but kind of to get back to what you were saying, Facebook marketing still crushes for advertising.
It really does.
I know my web guy, and I'm eventually going to, I'm actually going to do it next week when we drop our, we're doing a t-shirt and dropping a commercial with it and everything, but it's like my first 100%, like, you know, I'm not stealing music. It took a long time to get here. So like, I can pay for that to go out. And like, if you know what you're doing with that, like, you can really make a good return on it.
Yeah. And they offer a lot of tools with it as well, you know, like now it's Meta Business Suite, but you know, especially with the ads and the timing of it all.
And you can like direct how much you want to go to Easton, and you can start really.
You can do a lot of the targeting is crazy. So most of my money goes into Google and Facebook, which is like a substantial amount of money a month, you know what I'm saying? But the return is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Like, you pretty much have to put it in order to get it back. It's not, I mean, you can, like I said, you can get by doing it, but if you want to grow the business and kind of like you have the money to invest in it, I know a lot of people who have like services and they do really well through there.
Yeah.
So you started popping off that?
Yeah. I mean, it's all kind of relative as well, though. You know, you start off dropping $50 ads.
Yeah. They
start moving a little bit. You make a little bit more money. As it grows, you spend a little bit more money on the ads, you know, it's one and the same, really. So, but yeah, so that's it, really. I mean, I make most of my money, almost all of my money and all of my business off of social media.
That's crazy.
I don't use Home Advisor or any of those.
That's crazy how far it's come.
Yeah, Thumbtack, none of that.
Used to be the yellow pages.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think.
You probably get word of mouth, right?
I get a lot of word of mouth. I get a lot of real estate agents. I get a lot of, you know, Google also.
Oh, I didn't think of that. So there's multiple angles on this. So if a real estate agent's coming in and they're like, we want to spruce things up, and they'll kind of bring you in to save the money on doing a complete and total remodel.
Yep, definitely. I do hotels, apartment complexes, stuff like that, you know. So there's definitely different avenues for it all. And I don't want to say it's like a recession-proof kind of job or a you know, it's a cheaper option to a full remodel.
Yeah.
Know? And even with the bathtubs and even some of the sinks and stuff like that and clawfoot tubs, they don't make that kind of stuff anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? So
I had one of those in an apartment.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so if you can get
They
them,
don't move them.
no. If you can get them redone properly
Yeah.
by somebody who knows what they're doing, it's worth spending the money than having something like that ripped out or try to get it down your stairs or whatever, you know, then you got to pay a plumber, you got to pay, you're breaking the tiles, it's a mess. You know?
Yeah.
And you're spending 20K, 10, 15K, you know, to remodel your bathroom. So, but, yeah, so it's like when times are good in, you know, in the economy and everything, people still want to save a buck. And then when things are not as good, people are definitely looking to save a buck. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I always kind of compare it to haircuts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a bathtub. Everybody has hair.
Yeah. And that's like, yeah, I mean, I didn't even think of that because it's like if somebody has money, they might want to save money somewhere else to put something a little bit nicer in there so then they can save on that. But then if times are tough, they're going to go to that as an option to either maybe sell the home or to just have something new. And then either way, they're saving money. And you're just kind of hanging out in the middle and whichever way the needle goes.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And then with the real estate stuff, you know, you have an agent come in your house and they go, well, your tub is pink. Like nobody's going to buy this house.
Dude, my buddy, he's selling his house too. And I don't know. I think he might have sold it, but like the bathroom when he got it was like mint and pink.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I remember like my grandmother's being bathroom, but it was so much of an overdue that he just left it.
Yeah.
And then like the basement was an old salon and it had like there was like orange walls with like yellow flowers. Like you could run into that stuff.
Yeah,
like
I've seen it all, man. I've seen black bathtubs, mustard. I mean, any disgusting color you can think of, you know, what I mean? That you just wouldn't want a tub to be. So, yeah, but you can really do a lot if you just change the color of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your walls might be mustard yellow, but if you spray them white and you do some nice painting, put in some new fixtures, it's a completely different bathroom for under $2,000.
Yeah, because it's pretty cool. Because now I'm like thinking about it from a design aspect, where like if you just have a tub and you're just keeping a tub instead of buying a newer version of a tub, and you're not putting a stand-up shower and going all crazy with that, and making it look like a spa, you could totally change the color out.
Yeah, I mean, and then a lot of people will they want to redo all the tile, but they'll keep the tub.
Yeah.
So they'll hit me up after all the tile's done. I'll go in last. Beautiful new modern tile with a green tub. You know?
Yeah.
Do
and
the
then,
tub.
So what? How do is it like similar to like matching the paint and stuff, where it's like you can kind of hit anything on the paint scheme, or is there just kind of like?
Yeah, I mean, I usually go with any like Sherwin-Williams. Code color codes. My distributor can like match everything. So if somebody wants some crazy color. So I had some woman ask me if I did orange the other day, and I was like, sure. I mean,
you're like, I can't wait to redo this.
Yeah. If you have
leave
the color,
my card in the bathroom.
Yeah. If you have the color code, I can get it matched. And,
and
I can do it. Yeah, I've done some crazy colors in the past. I've done like a cloud foam blue or something was one of them. I've done a black one before. I don't recommend at all, but people will have strange requests sometimes, but it's cool, man. I enjoy it. And I do the countertops also too. So I can do a few different things. You can do like bathroom countertops, kitchen countertops in a product called Stone Fleck. It's made to look like granite kind of, but it's all sprayed on. So I have that option as well. So it's like, you know, you can come in and do the tile.
When did you add that on? Was that something that was kind of like you were also offering from the Canadian company? So, and then, man, that's so awesome that you took all that skill sets and then turned it into your own.
Yeah. So I was doing all that stuff with them as well. Yeah. So, yeah, you can really change the entire bathroom with just
because you could be doing the countertops and the tub and that real estate angle. Like you're probably saving them so much money, and then they're just wanting it to look brand new.
Well, it's for a quick sale, you know. Quick sale, or you just bought the house, you spent a bunch of money buying the house.
When did the real estate game start picking up? Was it like kind of word of mouth and you did it for somebody, or it's just always been something that they knew about? Yeah,
real estate agents, you know, you get in with one and then they start spreading it around. I still got a few guys in Philly that I go do work for down there.
What's your range, or like how far you go and stuff?
Well,
do you mind the travel?
I don't mind the travel at all. You know, you got to travel to make money. That's just how I see it. You know? And there's not many people that do this type of work. So you can't, you know, it's not like somebody can call and they got a local guy who does it. You know,
No.
a lot of guys are all over the place. You know, so. But when I was working for the other company I was working for, I was traveling every day to Philly, every single day. So now I try to keep it at least an hour. So I'd go an hour in any direction pretty much from Easton.
Do you hit a lot of local since it's been built? Like you kind of stay in the area quite a bit, or do you see yourself still going out towards Philly?
I mean, I still get hit up sometimes for certain jobs. It just depends on the job. You know, I'm not going to travel down there for a sink or something. You know, it's just not worth it. But
especially now the gas.
Yeah, the gas and like I had to tack on fees for that travel. You know, so. But for the most part, I am pretty Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, Phillipsburg. I do a lot in like Basking Ridge, Bridgewater area in Jersey. All pretty close, you know. So yeah.
Did what's it been like to make the transition to, like, I'm sure there was a relief of having to no longer deal with somebody kind of like telling you what to do, and then you, like, you know, now you're like doing your own thing. And
For
you know,
me,
what was that like to finally, from all the travel and all the different stuff you did, the 9 years worth of work, to then I'm just getting a glimpse into like crossing over into that, where I'm like, the freedom of like you setting it up. I mean, you're kind of like, you're holding your own to making your own money and everything, but the freedom of like setting up your own schedule and doing whatever you like and getting all that done. And there's just something about, even if you were setting up the jobs exactly the same way as it is, but it's for you.
Yeah. That's exactly what I am doing. Actually, I did not change a thing really on how I'm setting them up. I start most of my appointments at 10 o'clock in the morning. But as far as the scheduling and stuff, I mean, I still go just as hard. Like, I don't really give myself that much of a break. But the transition was, the biggest relief was there's no surprises anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that was the biggest thing that drove me nuts, is I would get emails, all right, you have a tub in Lancaster today or whatever. I would get all the way out there and the person wouldn't be home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that would happen like more often than I could really handle. It really started to
What do you have to do? Wait around?
I would just leave. You know?
Yeah.
I would call my boss and I would say, dude, they weren't even home, man. Like, why didn't you confirm with them? Why didn't you, you know, stuff like that would happen all the time. Or, you know, so it's very important to know if there's a window or not in the bathroom for ventilation, stuff like that. I'll get to jobs, there's no window, there's not even access to a window. So it's like things like that would happen all the time.
Yeah, where now you're able to kind of comb through everything and be like, hey, do you have this? Do you have this?
Exactly. I do all the booking, so I ask all the right questions. So everything I do, there's no surprise. You know what I mean? I show up on the job, I know exactly what it looks like, exactly what it's going to do, how long it's going to take, everything. So that's the biggest relief, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you where do you kind of see, like, do you want to grow this bigger? Do you, I mean, are you the only person that works for you?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, do you like that though? Or do you want, I know there's, it's a double-edged sword.
Totally
you can get way more work done because you're just tackling it all yourself.
Yeah.
But you can't do everything.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm blessed, honestly, with the amount of work that's been coming in. It's crazy, to the point where I'm having to turn down certain jobs, or
How long does a job take usually?
I mean, a standard size bathtub will take me 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in.
So you're able to do multiple jobs
if I want. You know,
Yeah.
I try to only do one a day.
Yeah.
Just because I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
There's like, that's the thing too, is like, it's the other thing too is when you have your own place like that, it's like you can control the stress.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And like that's another big one where like where somebody who's not, you know, he's just, hey, you're gonna go do this next.
Right.
What?
Yeah. No, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm understanding you need a break sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, because it definitely burn out.
I've been going super hard for like 2 years straight, and I've this year probably learned, like, okay, you need to take a week off here. You know?
Yeah.
Like, here's 8 weeks of going hard in the paint, and then you need to take a week off because it's just mentally you need the break. So
where do you think a lot of that came from with your work ethic? Was it something from your father? Did it come from the military? Was it because of kind of like how hard you were pushing the music? Like, you know, not everybody works that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I notice it because I have to be told to stop, or I'll be like, oh, you're burning out again.
Yeah.
But you know, that's not in everybody.
Yeah.
Where does that come from in you?
I honestly think it's it's from being broke.
Yeah, yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, man, chasing that dollar.
Yeah, if I'm really honest, I've been very broke before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely glad you brought this up.
Yeah. So when I started learning there's a way not to be broke, I was like, okay,
yeah,
this is the move then, and I'm not stopping. You know what I mean? But then, like I said, you start running yourself into the dirt. So, yeah, I'm starting to learn. Okay, I'm going to take these breaks here and there, just for my own sanity. You know?
Yeah.
Because my wife is always trying to tell me, you know, at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, people are messaging me. She's like, just put your phone down.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
It's tough. I'll have like going back and forth with people, and like I'll just trying to be like relaxing and just like playing GTA, and like you know, I just get on the headsets with my buddy, and like I'll just like sometimes it's hard to ever have that my time, because it's like somebody will hit me up and be like, somebody hit me up last night while I was playing. They're like, hey, like, do you think that like you would choose me to come on the show? And I'm like, you want to come on? I don't care. Like, I will help your business. Like people who reach out and are like, hey, what do you think about me coming on? I'm usually like, yeah, cool. That's a conversation. We can talk business. Yeah. There's been lots of cool stuff we've talked about so far. So like, to me, it's like, I'm helping people, but also it's a challenge because like I don't know anything about your business. But like I'm messaging her, and then I'm like working now and like networking and being like, and then she's like, you know, and then sometimes people get a little bit over eager, and then they're like texting you the next day, and I'm like, hey, like I'll set this up. I'm gonna call you next week, and then it's like it doesn't. But then when I see myself stop like that, all I'm thinking about is working, and then I don't enjoy. I think when I go on vacation once a year, we go to the beach, I'll decompress there, and that's probably the only time I kind of let go. But I'm bringing a computer and still just do
That's what I did. We took a vacation to Wildwood Crest over last summer, and I was like, you know, I still write everything down. I'm like super old school, so anytime I book a job, I just write it into a scheduling book. But I brought all that with me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, especially in a business.
You're like, we could probably work here.
Yeah. No, I thought that, man. I thought that.
What if we just moved here for the summer?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of that's also on the table too. If I wanted, kind of, you know what I mean? It's really just okay in a month in advance, start targeting ads somewhere you want to go hang out. You know. And then just take a drive and whatever, you know. And
then stay and book the work.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I brought my stuff because the work doesn't stop. People still want to book jobs, you know what I mean? So
and you have to stay on top of it, because it's like if you don't stay on top of it, then it starts either getting super cluttered, super messy, and things start getting backed up. And then it's like once I'm on top of it, there's always like a feel where it's like, oh, all right. But then it's like you have to stay on top of it, which is way harder to catch back up to than if you just constantly keep
that's what I do.
On it.
I'm on top of every single message. Because I cannot if I start having a backlog of messages and I'm like, oh my god, I need to get back to this person. Oh my god, I need to get back.
Plus the way people are now, and like how social media has ruined people. And Amazon is people just think you need to instantly talk to me. You need to instantly talk to me right now. And if you don't talk to me right now, you're either a bad business or you don't like me.
Exactly.
And I was like, what?
Exactly.
Like, dude, it's 10:30 at night. Why are you even messaging me?
Bro,
I had people hit me up on Sundays. I'm like, I grew up where like Sunday is my day where I literally, that's the only time I don't do shit. That's the end of the week. It has to, if I work Sunday, the week blends, and then now we get lost. But like, I'll have people like calling me, be like, hey, what do we, like, I'm like, bro, it's Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
It's Sunday. Am I that old that people don't care about Sunday anymore?
Only Chick-fil-A does, dude. But so
I'm just gonna start putting Chick-fil-A, bro.
Yeah. I'm on Chick-fil-A time today, dude. But Facebook used to have a thing; they would have a badge on your page.
Yeah, that's right.
On how quick you answer.
And then like if you, because like there would be times where like I would start like Facebook groups for like the clothing and things, and it's the same shit. You have 800 people interacting with you, and then it just slowly turns to like 40, and then they're like, then ads start coming up. If you'd like to get back to your 800, pay me. And I'm almost like, so like I would like create these things, and then I'd be like, that's not worth my time. And then I would look, and then there would be messages I didn't see, and then it'd be like, the normal response time for Michael is, and I'm like, you rat, tell people.
They still have that on there, I think.
The
normal response time, but the automatic response is the greatest thing on Instagram and
Facebook. Because every time you're like, yo, sorry, but then I was like, I need to turn this on for me.
Yeah. Actually, this guy Bobby, he's a tattoo artist at Flying Dutchman. I think that's the name of the record.
Yeah. I got to get them on. I think I reached out to them about coming on.
Yeah, they should. I think his name is Dutch, the guy.
You're the
owns
second
place?
person now that brought that place
Yeah,
up.
they're good there. But yeah, but the guy Bobby there, he's an artist there, and he was like messaging me, and he's like, "How did you get that auto response thing?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just in the settings, blah blah blah." And now every time we message,
Just auto
It's
response.
auto,
Because what is
auto.
it? It's got to be set up for business account.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you can use it as a personal, but
I go back and forth. I like making the videos and using the music a lot, and you can't do that.
I know.
You got to be like in the creator app, but then like I want to spend money to advertise, and then I got to put it back over, and I'm like, just stop.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
making me switch over back and forth.
But it's weird though. Like on the business thing with Instagram, if you do a reel, you can use whatever music you want.
That's so weird.
But if you do a story, you have to use these like independent artists, which is fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Give them the shine. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But-
that's why I see that now. Because sometimes I have friends who are posting stuff, and I'm like, "Why did you pick that weird song?" And here it's because
that's
it's
why.
the account they're under.
That's
I always
why.
just thought they had
Yeah.
terrible taste
They don't
in
allow-
music.
no. They don't allow you to use anything popular, you know,
Yeah.
or anything that anybody knows. Which
But
is,
if you do a reel because they want you using reel because they want to turn it into TikTok,
Yeah,
I can't complain though, man. Like when I started this making videos and stuff back in the day, it was like I remember when Instagram first let you put a video up,
Right.
And then I was like, oh, I can put a commercial up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was editing the show, so I would make little commercials, and I would rip music and put it
Yeah,
on there, and then it was like probably 3 months in, started getting flagged, and then they're
Right.
like, you don't have the rights to do this,
Yeah.
and then that started really becoming a problem, and then like once they allowed this, now it's really cool because like, you know, I picture a lot of stuff on like how I create with doing the social media by music. So
Right,
like
yeah.
to be able to kind of like plan that out, and now I can be like, oh, cool. Like I was just listening to the Beastie Boys, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I can make a dope reel with that song. I haven't heard that in forever.
Yeah.
Or like the drum bass stuff, even
yeah.
like how far do you have time to like mess around with your social media, like where you kind of like can take reels and do stuff like that, or like
I really don't, man. I wish I had somebody. My wife like always tells me I need to get on the reels. You know what I mean? But I'm just not that savvy at it, really. To be honest, I guess I'm a boomer or something.
No,
but-
I don't think so. Like I know editing and like TikTok and Snapchat and all that, like they don't explain how to do anything.
Yeah.
So like I can get through a reel because I understand the basics of editing,
yeah.
but like there's still some stuff that I have to look up and don't.
yeah.
And then I'm just like, what are you doing? This is like you're here for 25 minutes now, and like
yeah, exactly.
You know,
I could do it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just don't focus on it. And I think I mentioned to you before we even, got on air or whatever. Maybe the last time we spoke on the phone was that I don't put my face on my business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I let my work speak for itself. So
yeah,
I
you're
don't-
you're selling a service.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, some guys I see them. You know, they do the little cute little videos and stuff. That's just not me. I just
No,
can't.
you're not the
This will be
Mike Rowe.
Yeah. Once this goes up on YouTube and I put it on Instagram, this will be the first time anybody saw my face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. But I have friends who like run businesses like that, and it's different. Like when I'm like selling, like my life of doing this and showcasing to other people. So like I promote the people when they come on here, but
Right.
then I have to fill in when I'm not doing that.
Right.
And then like what it turned into is like when I had downtime in between podcasts, it was like I just started getting on stories, and like I would be like on the couch, like, yo, what's up? And
Yeah.
then like that took over its own thing where I started like people enjoyed that, and they'd come up to me and be like, yo, that was so funny when you said that. But I stopped it because I started dictating my entire life. And then like I was like doing something with my friends, and I'm like, hey, and then my friend's like, what are you doing? And then like I had this moment where I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And then like the more I'm actually like today I was on it because I was like going out to do
Right.
like a showcase on somebody's business.
Right.
And it was fun to do, but like I can't do that shit anymore. One, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't have the time to be like, hey everybody,
Yeah. It's
and like,
long.
what do you get out of it? Somebody messages you thanks and then doesn't buy a T-shirt.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely. Between everything else, it's like, I mean, you probably know, like running a business is just like,
Yeah,
there's
and then
so
plus you're
much
doing your
stuff.
ads and
Yeah.
like like the market you're going after, all the things that you said. It's like people aren't buying that stuff because you put music to it.
Right, yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're in need of either saving money, getting a really nice project. So
Right.
it's like sometimes I wish I had a business like that to promote, because it's like sometimes it's draining to have to like be that creative all the time.
Well, yeah, you have to be the face of what you're doing all the time.
Yeah,
You know
so it's like, and then it's like, I don't know, it's tough sometimes, but at the same time, it is fun to do, but then it's just I'm selling something totally different.
Right, yeah.
It's like I'm trying to get people to go to a channel. I'm trying to get people to emotionally buy a product. It's like you're selling a service, so like you can help people.
Yeah.
And then when you're really good at it on top of it, and your work stands out for it, you don't really need to do the dog and pony show.
No. I mean, there's a lot of, I think in this niche industry that I'm in, I think there's definitely a disconnect between like the older guys who have been doing it, even their websites and stuff like that. They just look dated. They don't look up to date. They just look just not clean and crisp, and because they don't spend the time on it, or they don't know what the aesthetic should look like of it all. But yeah, so with my stuff, I just try to make the photos look clean, all the little graphics and all that kind of stuff. I do all that myself too.
And that stuff definitely like I always took pride in doing this, because like I always overproduced it, and I always wanted like graphics, but like what but that comes back to the times when like you were promoting yourself because you had to stand out. But it's like, but you also know from doing all that and even being in the culture with the fashion and everything, like branding is 100%. Like you have to have your branding.
It's everything. It's everything.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, that's what makes you stand out. You know what I mean? Like I said, I see all these other refinishing companies, and they have like, 6 photos up of like some mediocre looking job. And it's like, that's why I try not to just post my work. You know what I'm saying? I try to post like things that I like.
No, because like I reposted the one thing that you posted the other day of that, it was like the outside bathroom or something. And it had like the plants in it. I had like 4 people be like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah. But yeah, like the historical homes of America account, I like to post their stuff.
But that's huge too, because like if you have somebody who wants a specific vibe, or like so you sharing that, I'm sure you have the confidence that like you could make that come true to a customer, because like that's your vibe, that's your style, which means that you're putting that into your work. So like if somebody actually wanted something like that, it's like, well, I can help you out on this facet, and I can redo this and this for you, and then you can get a designer, and I can save you money here. But like it's cool that you're able to share that part of your life into it as well.
Yeah, it's like, it's not something that I ever foresaw, you know what I mean? But
it's crazy how that totally, especially with like being that strong into the military, it's like, sometimes people just stay, especially when like their parents grow up in the military and you're used to traveling.
Oh, no, I was done. I was done. But I mean, the military did teach me a lot of stuff, it taught me, I mean, I was always kind of an aesthetic guy, always like obsessed with how things look. That sounds really bad, but
I think it's important to an extent, especially.
I mean anything, a piece of art or how something's hanging on the wall, you know what I'm saying? Like just always been obsessed with that kind of stuff. And then
like how a room's put together, and like just
stuff.
how it all like, dude, it took forever obsessively to like put all this together. And like I'm already like, it's already firing in my brain where I'm like, I can like start visualizing how the new studio is going to look. But like I obsess on that all the time. Me too, I think I mean, I have some friends who absolutely don't give a shit. And then they come down here and they're like, this is cool. And then I have my friends who are like, yo, this is dope. And then you go over to their spot and they're trying to do something cool. And like, I always like, I like that. I mean, it creates a vibe, and it creates who you are as a person. And I feel like people can get feelings off of it. And I even think from this podcast that just from like what we went over and like the fashion and culture and like all the different things that you experience, it completely shows into like what you're doing and why it's taken to such a high level where you're standing out over others and you're kind of like making your own mark on stuff.
I'm trying to.
It's not easy to do.
No, definitely not. I think.
But you put in a fuck ton of work beforehand, and that's the stuff where people don't understand is like, where I like ran into somebody and they're like, I can't believe you get to do everything you're doing, and I'm like, one, this is the least amount of money I've ever made. I have to try. I'm trying to make more, but like at the same time, it's like, dude, it took me 22 years to do this.
There you go.
When they say like it takes 10 years till you're professional and all that shit, it's all true. It's all true.
100%.
And you can't stop doing it.
No.
No matter how bad it sucks, no matter how many jobs suck. Like, there's people who, when that shit would happen with the dog, bounced out. I quit. I'm never fucking doing that again. This late, and then blame their rest of their life being miserable on a dog.
I mean, my boss at my other company, dude. He was like, when I first started, the first week, He goes, "You're not going to make it 10 days."
Yeah, those people are fun.
You know, he was a funny guy. Like
Yeah.
I liked him. You know, towards the end, not so much, but whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, it's that kind of. But then again, it's just like back to the 10 years an expert thing. I'm an expert in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I know everything there is to know about how every job is going to go, what's going to go well, what's going to go bad, how it's going to look. You know, so. But like you said, it's all those years of
Doing it wrong.
dogs jumping in tubs. and,
You know? Being in every situation.
Yeah,
And it's like, you know, even with this, it's like every like I started in apparel, and like I was trying to run an apparel company in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. And the only thing there was Facebook. There was not Instagram, and I had zero resources to get it done. And then I was like contacting people out in California. And then now I'm like dealing with people on the West Coast, because out there it's normal to start a clothing company.
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend in Brooklyn who had I don't know if you ever heard of Methods NYC. So he had a full-blown shop and everything in Greenpoint. And so I saw a lot of how that works. I mean, this guy's blowing out his credit cards all over the place.
It's
you know
not like, not easy.
You know, he was paying rent for a store space in Brooklyn, you know, like the designs, I mean, it was a nightmare.
And it's sacrifices, man. I mean, it's sacrifices with like how long you've worked in this business, how long you put up with driving to Lancaster and having to come home and like eating that stuff.
Yeah.
And then like when you finally get there, it's like, it's why you stay on top of stuff, because you remember how much it sucked. Like today when I was in that factory, he was like, "Oh, is it, you know, your shoes might get dirty." And I'm like looking at him like, "Bro, this is all I used to do."
Exactly. Yeah.
So like, I used to come into places like this and clean toilets. You know what I mean? So it's like when you like, I look like I was standing there and like he was talking to me, and it was weird. And I don't know if you ever get these moments where it's like you kind of just really, you're like, holy shit, like I'm like doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And like he's sitting there and I'm having a conversation with him because he's coming on a podcast, which I'm providing for him.
Right.
And he's telling me about how he started this cast iron company in his garage.
Right.
And it's just, you just meet people who are obsessive and you no longer think that you're crazy because you're talking to people like, he's like, well, everybody's got to be a little bit crazy. And I said, yes. I said, you have to be to take that jump. And the people that don't.
It also depends on what crazy you are. You know, to me, working in a cubicle is crazy.
Yes, I would never be able to do that.
Like I couldn't do it.
No.
You know, so, and then there's people that are obsessive crazy with either.
Just push it. Like, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
We're going to ride this thing till the wheels falls off. You know, I'm going to get good at this. I'm going to make this. This is what I'm going to make my living off of. I want that freedom. You know what I mean? I think it's, you know, only certain people have that aspect of like.
It's weird. Yeah. It was a weird moment today, man. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I was like just sitting there and I'm like, this dude's coming on my podcast, and what I'm doing for my job is I drove here and he's giving me a tour of the facility and I'm taking pictures so I can promote his business.
Exactly, yeah.
And then I got done with that and I was like, oh, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And then I'm just driving in my van and I'm like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah. No, I think about that.
Because I used to be the guy who was working, and then I'd be like, who's that dude? Why is that dude get to, how did he get to a point where he's, who is, well, the guy's doing interviews. Right. What do you mean he's doing it? He has a studio? Like, why can't I do that? And then I just got sick of that mentality of why can't I do that? Right. And I tell everybody, it was like, I started fucking with Action Bronson, and I saw that dude was doing music. He was doing food. He was selling olive oil. He was selling art. And then I was just like, why am I pigeonholing myself into doing one thing? And why don't I start doing it for myself? And like, that was the catalyst where I was like, I'm going to open a deli. And it didn't happen right away, but now I am. And then I'm driving the day thinking too, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm about to open a restaurant and I'm still running the studio. And like, it's not even real to me anymore. But it's like the little I have from it is something I would trade in for anything, because it was what I was looking for the entire time. I was miserable working for somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was saying that the first year I even started doing this type of work. I was saying to myself, I could do this. I could do this myself. This guy, this old guy that I was working for at the time, he had like a full-blown like showroom and everything. And I remember at the time I was telling them, I'm like, why are you guys not on Facebook? This was like in, I don't even know what year, 2010 or something. Maybe even earlier than that.
When you didn't have to pay for posts.
Yeah. I don't even remember when it was, but it was a long time ago. And I remember saying to my girlfriend, like, I could do this. I don't need, like, these people don't know what they're doing. Yeah. You know, they're sending me to Newark to do like into the roughest neighborhoods to do just jobs for like, you know, like the projects basically that they had accounts with that they weren't even paying the guy, and it was like a big mess. And I was just like, well, this guy has no idea what he's doing, man. He's like too stuck in like the old school way of doing it. And I was even then, so I always knew at some point I wanted to go on my own, you know what I mean? And then I had that 7 years of solid, like real hardcore training of sometimes you're going to drive to York and it's going to suck, you know what I mean? You know, but the military taught me that also, the suck it up mentality, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that had to kind of give it a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, the attention to detail stuff, and then it doesn't really matter how you feel. It's got to get done.
Yeah.
So those
I
two
forgot
things.
those days of like having to eat that work day where you're there and you're like, I remember being like half hung over and we're like, you know, my boss is like, hey, we got to get this done today. So we need to do like, you have to clean 300 windows and they pop out. So you got to put them down, clean both sides. And then we'd be like, yeah, but there's still construction workers here. And he's like, yeah, they're going to pay me for you guys to do this again then.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but he's like, yeah, but I'm getting paid twice for the job. And I'm like, why don't we wait till they're done? And he's like, this is what we're doing.
Well, you can't ask questions.
You know what I mean? He was dope though, Dave. Every time I run into him, I always bullshit with him. I learned a lot from him. He was a hard boss, but he made us work way harder than any other company, and their results on that always showed, and it's why they got business. And then like looking back on it, I was like, but now it's like I'm so thankful for the pressure, the drive, and like how he was, because now when stuff like is like that, it's normal. It's not, you know what I mean? Like there can't be much worse situations than ones I've been at the jobs I've had before. So it's like getting through those has made it totally worth it. But then I also look at it where like, if you're not going out and getting your own, how is any of that worth it?
I mean, learning to do things that you don't want to do is like probably one of the greatest, the greatest, most valuable asset you can have. Especially as a business owner or a small business owner or somebody who's a one-man operation. Like
you go above and beyond. And that's the shit people care about.
It's like, it doesn't really matter. Like there's jobs that I'm on some days where I'm like, you know, a big job where it's like a full bathroom of tile, and I've been there since 9 a.m. and it's 6:30 at night and I'm still working, my gun's getting clogged up or whatever, you know, and it's an absolute nightmare, you know what I mean? But it doesn't matter. It's got to get done. You can't flip out while you're there.
Do you have like two parts where like you come back and work on stuff, or is it usually pretty much primarily you're coming in there and your job is getting done and then they can move on with their bathroom? So it's got to get done in the day?
I don't have to. You know what I mean?
But I mean, that's such a good selling point where you're like, hey, I'll be in and out. It might take the day, but you can start your construction at this point. And then now they're already have paid you.
Oh yeah, no,
you know what I mean? Like they're like in their mind, they're like, oh, cool, we can move on to that project because he's coming in here.
No, that's
and it's
massive,
not.
It's a massive selling point.
That's huge, man. It's a very unique service.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to rip your tile out, you want to do anything like that, that's a full renovation. You're gonna have guys in your house for 3 weeks.
Oof.
You know what I mean? There's gonna be dust all
tile out.
It's gonna be dust all over your house.
Garbage bags of tile.
The drain's gonna break. You're gonna find mold in your wall or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, we can't continue until you fix this from your pipe that's technically isn't to code anymore.
Just so you know, the piping behind this wall has a crack in it now.
And now you have to go to all PVC.
Now it needs a whole new manifold, so we have to take all the tile back off the wall. You know, all that kind of mess. You know what I mean? So, so like a standard tub and surround tub and 3 walls, you know, that takes me 4 hours, and you can use it the next day, and you're done.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So.
Where do you want to go with this? How big do you want to go with it? Like, how do you just kind of see it where it's still kind of a fairly new business and you're just trying to like kind of keep your name out there and just kind of keep doing what you're doing? Or do you want to get it to a point where you can kind of like, you know, pick up? I mean, it's also a very unique business because if you guys ever wanted to move, you could just take the job and go everywhere you're going. Like, do you want to stay in this area? What do you want to do?
For now, I'm content with where I'm at. I think I have I guess a 7-year plan. I'm 38, so by 45, I want 3 guys working for me, so I can kind of take more of a back seat.
But then you also know how to handle that and what not to do.
Oh yeah,
because of how that guy treated you.
Exactly. But I also know how to structure all that as well. How they did it. You know what I mean? So that would be the ultimate goal. So I can, you know,
now you're just running jobs, and then which is work on itself. But then you have time. way more time for like your kids and different stuff like that, or just not even being out doing the job.
Well, then you can grow.
age.
You can grow. You know what I mean? So you can have, but you know, maybe not 3 guys, maybe more than that. Maybe I got a guy in Bergen County, or I got a guy in Philly, or I got a guy in up near Scranton or something. You know
What's
what
it take to get one guy going? A van and the equipment?
I mean, definitely, probably like if they've never done the work before, I would probably have to train them for a year at least. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
and then you got that commitment.
yeah, that, and then you got to pay that, and then
Hope that they.
Yeah, I don't want a guy working
it's
out
like month 10, and they're like, I really don't like this.
Yeah. I don't want a guy working out of a Honda
Going
Civic.
back to Best Buy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want a guy working out of a Honda Civic. You know, I kind of would prefer they have a truck or at least a van or some kind. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
Again, back to the aesthetics. I don't want somebody driving up to a customer's house in a Lexus with tinted windows.
But if you find somebody who is similar to where you were at, where like, wants to build a business off of it, wants a career. Like I have a couple friends that work construction, and they're good at what they do, and they work for a company, and he gets a text on where he's supposed to be and what tools are supposed to. What's cool now is like the technology where like, it's like, his boss pays for a service. So everybody sent out the job, where they're going to be, what times they have to be there, what tools they need. And then he's just like shows up. Yeah. And then it's like, there's no on the phone. You're not meeting at the shop.
Exactly,
like you're just, you're kind of going and which is it's what's cool about that too, is it's a bit of freedom. Yeah. It's almost like you're, freelance almost.
Yeah. It's also, again, it goes back to the, it's a good learning thing for them also, because then, your employer or whatever, because then if they want to go do it themselves someday, then they get a good baseline for what they have to do. You know what I mean? And then, but also if you pay them well enough, or if you pay them right,
they'll just stay.
They would have no reason.
Yeah, because there's definitely people who just want jobs.
Yeah.
And like, well, I mean, that's like my hurdle over the next 3 years is finding someone who wants to run a kitchen for a living.
Right. Yeah.
And if you pay them correctly and you give them what they need to run it, and they're your right hand man, and that's what they want to do with their life.
Right.
Like, you could find that, but you can't undercut those people, and you can't mistreat them, and you have to allow them to want to live the life that you want them to do.
Yeah. I mean, also, it's really about finding somebody who can do it as good as you.
Yeah, that's true too. And then there's also like, it's tough to like, to let go of
the control,
or to let go of like, no, you can't do it as good as me. Or like, you know what I mean? Or like maybe they do one thing differently, and it like, well, no, you should do it this way. It's like you run into a lot of roadblocks with that.
I mean, there's definitely guys that are experienced that I could probably pick up here and there.
Yeah.
But ideally, I would like somebody who's like 24 or 25, doesn't really know what they're doing, go in where they're going. You know what I mean? Somebody that wants to make good money. You know? So, like, it definitely changed my life from where I was, and it definitely can do that. But you have to really hustle. You know what I mean? It's a hustler business. Constantly hustling, giving out estimates, hustling, getting to the jobs. It's constant movement. You know what I mean? So
that's what I prefer. But if you like being on that hamster wheel, and you find something like that, and like what you said, you can like, make good money and then eventually carve your own, or be running a crew underneath you. Like it's a very lucrative career. Definitely. And like something that you can live off of.
Yeah. And back to what we were talking about originally, it's freedom, man. You're not stuck. I had this kid come to my house the other day to do my locks, and a locksmith kid, and he's working for some other guy. I'm like, how much? I was just asking him, I was like, how much does this guy pay you per job? He's like 20%. I'm like, really? I'm like, well, how many jobs are you doing in a day? He's like, I don't know, 3 or 4. And I'm like sitting there thinking, this kid's making like $30 a job. This is the kind of kid I need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need this kid. Call him up and be like, I'll give you 50%. Of a way bigger price range. You know what I mean? You're making way more money if you're out here hustling for that. That's the kind of person I want. Somebody who's willing to hustle.
Yeah, they're already hustling.
Yeah.
They just haven't gotten a break, or haven't gotten somebody to give them a chance, or they're just stuck doing that because they need a job.
Right, or they don't know that there's other opportunities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those are the kind of people you want to try and target. But again, they're not easy to come by either. So
no. I have Jared, who sponsors the show. I think he's got a solid guy now, but he's gone through 2-3 people that he's just training, and then you get to a point, and then it's like, oh, this isn't working out, or hey, this isn't for me, and then it's just like, dude, I just trained you on all this stuff.
And it's a risk. It's a big risk.
Yeah.
Because it's also a money loss. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You have to be prepared to lose money for a year at least. You know, for me anyway. When they first trained me, they trained me for a week and they just sent me on my own.
Yeah, that's how the post office was.
Yeah.
They're like, figure it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you making me use MapQuest?
And then they're wondering why they're getting all the calls about this guy
Yeah.
messed up my tub. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, well, I only had 7 days of training. I've literally never done this before in my life. So, so I would definitely need a solid year under my belt. But yeah, man, I'm definitely open to it. But that would be the goal.
Yeah.
45 to have a couple guys where I can like do more stuff like this and like market the business and just be more of that guy. You know what I mean?
Pushing it heavier and just kind of like running things. And like, that's going to be probably my biggest adjustment is going to be stepping back and then being like, okay, well, somebody's going to run the kitchen now. And then like, I try and wrap my head around it every day just so when it gets, so then it's easier for me to do it. But like me wrapping my head around hiring someone to do the things that I created with my friend. And then it's like, you know, all right, well, this is the way you got to do it. And then it's like, you know, is this going to be as good as it is? Or is this only going to be successful because me and Gina are doing it? And what happens when we both step back? And then like, it's, you're emotionally attached, but at the same time, I want the freedom to be like, all right, cool. Like I'm putting another studio somewhere else. And then like, I want to bounce back and travel or like, I want to step up my game or now that I learned how to do all this in this room, I now want to take this out in front of a camera and go interview people like out in Vegas and like go see places and go overseas. And like, you know what I mean? Like I see myself wanting to do all that and that can't happen until I start like maturing enough to let go of things. Yeah. That is just like,
it's also
it could go terribly wrong, but like, but also like it's one of the things where I think what it's going to be is it's going to be just as hard it was for me to jump over to this, which once I did it, I'm like, why didn't you do this 5 years ago? Where like I'm trying to like mentally prepare to walk away from that, but it's hard, especially with you like developing that craft, and you know you're making it seem like it's just something you do, but you obviously you learned how to do this in a very professional manner where like you're booked enough jobs, so like you know it's got to be hard to be like, is he gonna do that? And he's not putting in, he's putting in half the time I did.
I mean, like I had a buddy that when we used to work together sometimes, you know, they send us to like an apartment complex. He's got 2 tubs, I got 2 tubs. We knock them out. We're just hanging on the job site together. This guy would be done in 45 minutes. 2 tubs. And I'm like, how do you do that? You know, like he just doesn't care about taking the time to do it. You know what I mean? And
he's like, it's done.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out. He's like, it's 12 o'clock, I gotta go. And I'm like, all right, bro.
You're like, I'm halfway through tub 1.
I'll be here till 4, dude. Yeah. But, you know, it's funny, then a job like that, then they call me and they're like, you got to go back and fix his tub.
Yeah, that shit. That always sucked. You'd get into that in the kitchen too. So-and-so closed last night. They left it this way.
Exactly.
Well, why does he always do it this way?
That's
I'm not
reason.
doing it. And then it's like, well, you have to do it because that's how we're going to start today.
Exactly.
Well, why don't you get rid of him? Because I can't get anybody to cover that shift.
There you go. Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, you're taking me back to like,
you start arguing with your
flashbacks.
Yeah, you start arguing with your boss. You're like, bro, I'm not going to fix his tub.
Yeah.
He was in and out in 45 minutes.
And you know the whole time you are.
Yeah. And he's like, well, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I depend on you.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't have somebody as good as you. So you have to go do twice the work. The post office was a lot of that. I'd get done and be like, cool, I'm going to go home. And they're like, you can't go home. They're like, you have to go and run the rest of so-and-so's route. And I'd be like, yeah, but I didn't get help. And you guys left me out there to drown. Well, she's going to drown.
Right, yeah.
You felt like you were going to drown, and this is why we're like you, because you're not going to drown. She's drowning, and you now have to go help her. And then I'm like, dude, it's 7 o'clock at night. I've been here all day. I'm now, like, it was at a point where I was getting back the same time the regulars were. And then they were like, yo, you're doing it. And then, like, I get back and be like, cool, I got to go do a podcast. And they're like, nah, man. You got to go help her. And I'm like, what? Yeah. And then you find her, and she's lost
on
her mail, there'd be that, but her like, because there'd be times then when she would know, this is the stuff too, is like she would know that I'd be sent out to help, so then she wouldn't work any faster. And my dad used to always kind of like lecture me on that, where he's like, if you go in there, but I was always like, and I had to work hard everywhere. Everything I do, I work hard at. It's just it's what I do. So I would go there and he'd be like, dude, your pace is too heavy. He's like, they're gonna expect that from you all the time. And I'm like, whatever. So then this lady would then slow down, And then she knew, I figured they'd send you out to help me. I'm all sorry. That shit wore off after 5. But then you'd get there, her mail's completely unorganized. You didn't take the time to set it up correctly. Then your shit fell over, and she's like, I don't know what to do. She's crying, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm having like PTSD from these terrible jobs. But like, that's the thing is like, you know, a lot of people get discouraged and they'll like quit a job. And then like, you know, I love hearing stories like this where it's like you stick out through the bullshit, and then what came out on the other end is like you built a business that now you provide for your family. You can do whatever you want as far as your jobs. You can take on as much as you want. You're still learning and growing, and like you're pushing the limits of what you can do. And all that came from kind of getting through to the other side. And I think a lot of people these days will give up, or they'll just try and think that there's an easy way to get shit done. And it's like the old school way of just kind of like working hard, figuring it out, learning by mistakes is I just still think that's the truest way to work.
It really is. I mean, and people are on that, like you were saying before, people expect an answer right away. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with hard work. Like people expect, like you have said with the podcast, like people, they don't know that, you know, you've been doing this for X amount of time, and they're like asking you questions, asking you questions about, well, how do I start making money at it? And it's like, bro, okay, rewind 6 years, start early, you know what I mean? And people just don't want to.
I always tell everyone, because a lot of people will be like, well, where do you make your money on this? And I'm like, well, it took 5 years till I started making money on this. And then it's just like, well, how do you do it? And then I'm like, well, I could tell you, but you're not going to be able to do it because you have to start dropping everything. You know, it's like I got rid of my apartment and moved back in with my parents and then spent that rent money on a studio, but I was also working full time. So every single paycheck and every credit card got maxed out for all this stuff that you think just showed up here.
It's the same thing. Like people will ask me, well, where do you buy the product? I'm like, I could tell you where I get it, but you can't do what I do.
Yes, yeah. You know I have people will do that where they'll like ask me every single aspect of like my cooking, and like I'm very honest with it, and I'll tell them, and then people will be like, dude, you probably shouldn't tell them that, like they're gonna start selling that. And I'm like, dude, you can't recreate what I'm doing. Even if like, you know, somebody made the exact same burger, it's not ever going to taste the way I make it because I'm making it.
Exactly.
You can get close to it. And like with like what's cool too is like when I develop the food is like I put so much work into it and so much overthought into it that you could fuck that burger up. Because I've already done it where like I'm burning out because I got a line of people, and like when we go to the jiu-jitsu things, sometimes it's just like 150 people just like pop, 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 pop. And that's just like you start slowing down and you start making mistakes, but the burger is so you could take the cheese off and the burger's still awesome. You could overcook it by a minute and the burger is still awesome. So like, you know, you could get close, but like when I hit that money spot, that's mine.
Exactly.
And like that's like when you do your job to a point where you're like walking a room and you know like no one else is doing something like that. And especially when you put the other work in. I learned that with the cleaning business. Like I said, like it sucked, but like when we were leaving, like you could tell the customer was like, holy shit, like you went above and beyond. And that's something that when you do that and you keep doing it, it doesn't really go away.
No, I think, and that's something that I really try to do, man. I really want my customers to be blown away by what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been staring at this blue wall for 30 years, you know what I'm saying? And then I come in there and just blow them away just by how, just like the detail of it.
The professionalism, the detail, the hard work, everything in the package. And then that's...
And like I was saying, sometimes you're on a job till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and you've been there since 9. Like customers also appreciate that. You know? Where, you know, they're like, you don't have to stay. You can like wrap up if you want. I'm like, nah, we want to get it done today. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's always what you want to hear because, you know, my parents... have had stuff done over the year, and they're just, you know, nice people, but they'll be like, hey, you can come back tomorrow if you want. Then you have people who take advantage of that, and then like, well, I got to charge you for 3 days. And it's like, well, I'm the one that told you you could go and come back. Why are you, you know, I've definitely, have seen them get swindled on some stupid shit. But then when you have the people that care, like I'll come home and they'll tell me about it. Like, you know what I mean? And like, that's what you want out of that. Definitely. Where like, you know, where like, I don't care that they had that done to their house. I have a million different things, but like when we're having dinner and they're like, like they're getting a whole back porch put on. And they had 3 different people come through. And the one guy, they were like, he brought books. He stayed here with us. He went over everything. And my dad's like, he answered all of your mom's stupid questions. Like, so now they're like, he's the one who's going to give me what's in here.
Yeah,
and when
yeah,
you sell that and you give a shit and go that far, you're selling people a dream. And then that's when like you know that you can do that. So like then when you have that, you're selling the dream, that's when word of mouth, business, everything starts kind of going together.
And that's definitely been a big part of why it's progressed. You know what I mean? I definitely have lots and lots of customers, like you were saying, like, let me show you this. Like, they're ready to show their cousin, their stepsister, whoever.
Where then now they're doing your marketing and sales for you.
They're like, whoever comes to the house, you know, they're like, remember our brown tub? You know what I'm saying? And then
you can get rid of yours. They're like, we like it.
They open the door and they're like, look at this. You know what I mean? And they're like, well, let me get that guy's number, you know, and then, you know, I get a call from them or whatever. So it's definitely 100% that. It's all it's all the things combined. You know what I mean? You know what it is. Like, everything has to come together.
Yeah.
In order
and that doesn't happen in 6 months.
No, definitely not. No. You really got to dedicate yourself to keeping yourself at a high level, really. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's exhausting to keep that pace, but I like hanging out in there. I'll dip down a little bit, but then it's like I come back even harder. And then it's just, you know, it's just like you just hang out there, and then you start holding yourself to standards. When like this whole thing and like how it looks and everything is because the people that I worked under and used to be their coffee guy, when I would go with them on like when they would be shooting music videos and stuff, they all held themselves to a high standard. And then like when my buddy Jer helps me with any of this, it's like, you know, it was always like, well, you make it look good. Like, you know what I mean? And he'd always hold me to a standard, and he would show me, and then I would have to work to get there. And then like now when I get a text from him where he's like, yo, the show looks good. Like, I know that we're there. And then when people come down here and they're like, all this, and I'm like, yeah, man, like this is the standard that I was held to. And now I'm taking what I learned, and this is that. And then when we get into the new spot, like I said, like we're going to be here. And then it's like, that's hard to catch up to. And you're not going to, because I have 7 years in.
Exactly.
You know,
it's a big thing, man. And like you were saying before, how you really sit back and you're like, wow, I'm actually doing it.
It's weird.
You know,
it's
like,
weird. It's surreal.
I thought that this is like maybe sound corny. I'm not, but like I always envisioned having a Tacoma. With the cap on it, and I have all my tools and everything I need in the back of the truck. Nice new truck, looks good. That's what I want to work out of. For the longest time, I was working out of a Dodge Ram with 2 metal toolboxes on it.
When
like,
you don't have the right equipment to work out of, it's terrible.
Like, so like just not professional, you know what I mean? But that's, I wasn't working for myself. I didn't really care. I was like, all right, all my crap is in here, and you know, I'll get the job done. But you know, those were the things I envisioned. And then you start doing the business, and the money starts coming in. You open the business accounts, and they're like, okay, now I can put this Tacoma on my business account. Now I can start looking more professional. You know what I mean? Like all those kind of things. And then you start sitting back, and you're like, wow, like you thought about this like 5 years ago. And now you're doing it. You know what I mean?
It's weird when you go back to think on that, and then you don't realize how fast it goes like that, and how much the hard work is, where you just put your head down and you keep working. And it's like, you know, like what's crazy is like I was even thinking today, because like, you know, when I drop the commercial next week, like that's how I wanted to sell my clothing originally, was with a commercial. But learning how to make a commercial, for me to make it look like a Nike commercial, is not, one, the technology back then wasn't anything. Now it's like you could do some cool shit with your phone, but then to have friends who helped me to push it to a point where like, you know, I was like, oh, cool, we're going to drop that commercial. And then someone was like, oh, you're still doing apparel? And to me, it's like, well, I didn't stop. I broke off and was doing other things that would bring money in, and like other things that like I wanted to obsess on, because obsessing that much over apparel, I was burning out. But like now when it's like, I kind of like, it's all coming together. And then like, when I went to the cast iron place, Matt texted me and he's like, yo, we should do a video with him. And I was like, I'm like, dude, you could do this to this to this to this. And then we could, you know, we'll take this music, and then we're within 3 minutes, we already have the commercial banged out. And now I'm like, yo, let's meet for a beer tomorrow or next week. And then let's get this commercial ready. And then as soon as we're done with that, let's pitch it to this guy. We can tag these people in it. And that shit did not come from me just thinking it.
No,
that
no,
all
no.
came from I fucked that up so many times and did that wrong so many times and lost money. Girlfriends broke up with me because of fights over stuff like that. And then now it's accumulated to I know the moves to make now. And now I trust this up here. So it's like, I'm sure it's the same with you where you envision doing something and then you're like, all right,
so
cool.
long.
You
For
know
so
what I mean?
long, though, too. You know what I'm saying? You have
and it just, it's like a carrot in front of you.
You have that, that idea or that vision like so far, like it's so much,
It's so real,
so prominent, like at the beginning when you're very first starting, but you just don't have the ability to get there yet, but you know that's.
And if you keep, and like I try and tell people, I'm like, you literally just have to keep going. You have to keep going because it's not going to get handed to you. The Tacoma isn't just going to show up, and then in your head, you don't realize that there's a bunch of hard work. People you know are going to die. Shit's going to go wrong. All this other stuff, and then like real life and the shit where people quit jobs and don't want to do it and then go somewhere else because it's a little bit more tolerable. And now you're at Amazon fucking just working through sorting packages and then they're getting rid of you in 3 years and now you're starting over and it's like, dude, it's like eating piles of shit to get to where you want to go is way easier than taking shortcuts that go nowhere.
Definitely. And, you know, going back into those kind of, I don't know what I would do if I was forced to go back into that kind of environment. You know what I'm saying?
I thought about that the other day, and I don't know if I would just like go join the homeless population in like Texas or LA or I don't know what
I'd be in
do.
Miami, dude. I'd be in South Beach, just an absolute wino.
Like, take over the community. I know how to cook. If you bring me burger, I don't care how old it is.
As long as it doesn't get cold, I'm living on the street, dude. You know what I mean?
Apparently, you can now.
Yeah.
You need a tent, and you can go set up in somebody's yard.
As long as it's warm.
They
all go to those couple places. I don't know about Austin. I've never been, but I don't know how cold it gets there. But
I watch a couple of podcasts and shit, and the guys from LA that moved out there, it's cold enough that they bitch about it. But it's probably not cold like here.
No. That's the other thing. I mean, I would love to move to Florida, man.
I was going to ask if you were going to eventually try and go somewhere warm.
Yeah, I wish I could, man. I totally understand that people,
I'm already leaning towards it.
Yeah. People are like, why do all the old people go to Florida? Because we're sick of this cold shit, man.
Yeah. My one buddy, we always talked about like, and with the bagels and stuff, we joke like we should just go somewhere warm eventually and run it there where you could take that business and do that. And then the more I kept thinking about it, I was like, well, what would be my easiest way? And then like there's somebody I follow, a girl who like bartends out in Florida who I met through a friend. And she's just on like fishing boats and bartending. And I'm just like, this is like Tom Cruise and cocktails. I'm like, I'm down in this fucking moldy basement. I'm like, but then it started really going. And then my buddy started Airbnb-ing and then it just clicked and I got obsessed with it. And what I'm doing now is this is my Tacoma where I'm like, I'm going to go eventually and I'm going to check out places in Florida and I want to find a cool place that's unique. And then when I buy my first home, it's going to be there. And then I was like, what's the fastest place that if I got on a plane, I could be warm? And then I was like, all right, cool. That's like, what, a 2-hour flight? So then I was like, all right, well, technically, if I had that and let's say I had 2 days off of work in a row, I could leave. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, well, I could build a studio there. And then I was like, all right, well, when I got to this where I would have a passive income or if I sold my shares of things that I was working on, and then I could just stay out there for 6 months if I wanted to. And then I was like, then I can network in Florida. And then I'm like, oh, I really can do whatever I want. And having that freedom then on top of having the little I do now, that's now like my Tacoma where I'm like, get the house, Airbnb it, and then whenever you want to go there, or I'll just keep it for my brothers to take my nieces and shit out to. But I'm like, why would you buy a house and then drive to work where you're going to be 24 hours a day? This is so pointless for you to own a home and pay a mortgage when you could be doing that somewhere else and making money. Or if it's not even Florida, start in the Poconos where like my buddy's doing the Airbnbs. But like once I started looking at that, I'm like, oh, you can. Then you start realizing is how much you actually open the door. Because right now we only see like a little bit because we're working and like, oh, that. But you saying that you can go out there, you literally could go out there. It'd be a conversation with your family. And then if you wanted to do it next year, you could be doing the same shit out there. It's crazy.
The thing would be, I guess you could get a guy here working for you and then just move there. And then try to start up there, you know what I mean? See what happens. But
it's just crazy how far the doors actually open
Well,
when
it's
you
with-
start paying attention to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's also like you said with the technology stuff. It's like, you know,
That guy was running. You were working for somebody who was in Canada.
I'm saying, yeah.
You could totally do it,
bro. And he brought us up there one year, and his property was gigantic.
Yeah.
And he just lived in his house with his dogs in the middle of the wilderness.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the woods.
Yeah.
Not the woods.
Yeah.
They don't have the woods. in
He's like,
Canada.
could you pick up groceries for me?
No, he's 4 hours from Toronto, dude.
Yeah.
When we landed, we had to drive 4 hours to his house, but
That's crazy.
yeah, and he had this other guy working for him who did all the booking of the jobs, and he just lived there with his dogs and had like 10, 15 guys just spraying bathtubs on the East Coast,
That's crazy.
just racking change.
Was he
every
from
week.
this area and wanted to live there?
He's from Texas, actually.
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, but that's a great way to hang out.
Yeah.
He's got somebody at his house just booking all the jobs. He's got
Yeah.
all these jobs coming in. You know, he's making whatever he's making off of every guy, and
Yeah.
You know.
But it's cool that you can see there's no ceiling.
yeah,
You know what I mean? To see somebody doing like that, like you could be making a lot of money to have that kind of living.
Yeah.
You don't just, you either live out there because you're retired
Right.
and you went through a terrible divorce and you don't want to see
yeah.
anyone ever
Yeah,
again.
I think that's kind of what that is. What his situation.
That's my neighbor
was.
did that. That's the other reason I have that,
Well,
story.
Maybe your neighbor was my boss because that's exactly. The
He
same
worked
thing.
at Bethlehem Steel and was out of there before the pension with this pension still.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he hunted and he lived next door to us. And then he was my dad's best friend. And I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he did. And then
Yeah.
you wouldn't see him for like 2 years, and he would show up and he wouldn't stop talking because he didn't talk to
He hasn't
anyone.
talked to anybody.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
It was cool. Shout
Yeah.
out to Larry. Rest in peace.
I guess that's why my guy was so good at. You know, he would book jobs sometimes too, but he would be on the phone with customers for an hour.
Yeah.
just talking their ear
Yep.
off. Man.
Yeah.
just going crazy about all his crazy stories and stuff. I don't know. The guy was a lunatic, but he was cool, man. But,
Yeah, at least there's opportunity on the horizon. I don't want to hold you up too much longer, and I didn't know how this would go. Sometimes I just am like, yeah, fuck it, I'll talk to you about your business.
Yeah.
This was dope. I haven't
man.
like it was a solid conversation. You're in a lot of cool shit. I definitely
appreciate
want to
it.
go watch soccer with you because no one will
Definitely.
watch with me.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes people come down here and you don't know really how it's gonna go. But
Right.
like, you got a dope story, man. I mean,
Cool.
you lived your life
I
and
appreciate it.
you traveled around and you had the military stuff, and then I know what it's like to work through all that stuff, and then for you to come out on top and you have this business going and it's successful for you. There's a lot that people can take from there to be motivating, and I only wish you the best with everything. If you ever want to come on here to promote, or we have another show Off the Rails where we just get drunk, if you want to
Right,
come on
yeah,
for
yeah.
that, you're more than welcome.
I'm down for that too.
But yeah, I mean, this is cool, man. I want to give you a chance to promote how anybody can get a hold of you, the best social media to grab, and your social media is worth following. I love seeing the remodel stuff, so it's not just something to follow and then it's your feed's clogged up.
Yeah.
It's cool. And then if your Facebook or however anything at all, you can plug that now.
Cool, man. Thank you. So yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you to you for having me here.
Of course, man.
Shout out Precision Laser for
Yeah.
you know, that's how I found you. Yeah, so the social networks, Facebook, Instagram, just Two Rivers Refinishing. Number is 484-656-1987. You can reach me on there, leave a voicemail. Yeah, just email also to riversrefinishing@yahoo. I want to say thanks to all the people that have booked with me, all the people that are future bookings coming up, and all the people that have supported. Really, like I've had a lot of support online and stuff for what I've been doing. My wife especially has been supporting me. She wanted the shout out, so there you go.
Don't you forget.
Yeah, can't forget that one. So yeah, man, that's really it. Two Rivers Refinishing at pretty much all those spots, and you can get in touch with me that way.
Cool. I'll have it listed in the comments and everything on the YouTube and on like the social media drops and all that. If you're a first-time listener, first-time watcher, it is neveragainstudio.com. That has the YouTube, it has the iTunes. Anything that you need to know about me is on that website. The apparel will be, by the time this is out, the apparel, it will be back. So all the apparel's on there. It's drop shipping. Kyle Metz over at Dynamite Screen Printing. I don't touch anything, so there's no more pickup here. There's no more holding for you. If you want it, you order it, and it'll be at your house the next day. It's the best way to do it. Don't tell me otherwise. I love talking to you people, but I do not have the time. So that's going to be going. And then, like I said, subscribe to the YouTube so we can get the subscribers up. And then once we hit 1,000, then we can start really pumping some stuff out. Thanks again for coming on, and I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man.
Dude, we went for like an hour and a half.
Never Again Radio. Get into it, brother.